The views and opinions expressed on this show do not reflect that of the staff and management of WNOV and W293 CX 106.5 FM Courier Communications Milwaukee, but are the sole comments of the host and guest of this particular show.
Keith, did you hear that? Parris over there doing that too.
People doing it in the car. Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning. Good morning,
right
people.
that time, man.
I sure did, man. I got to focus, man. I told you I spent 3 years in speech pathology as a child, so I was trying to overcome it. Good morning, Carver. Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Clark. I am set. Phone lines are open. 414-444-5250. 414-444-5250. The phone lines are open. I listen to the program that comes on before mine.
What's the name of that show?
Say something real.
Who's the host?
Michelle Bryant. So I don't know why the first caller just gonna shout me out. Thank you. But let me correct them.
Shout you out?
Yeah.
I don't think that's what that was.
Sounded like a compliment to me. So let's just get it straight. All right. Let's keep it 100. Keith Parris does not know everything. Keith Parris knows almost everything. Okay, there you go. Your life should be a whole lot easier.
On aisle 3?
What's today? It'll be aisle 2. What's today? Monday, second day of the week. Yeah.
One thing I learned something over the weekend. I don't know everything, but I know what I know.
There you go.
That's how I leave it.
There you go. Now, because I have worked, I would say the last 20 years of my life, I have part of my vocation is adult instruction, adult learning. And the thing about adults, the key to adult learning is adults have to unlearn in order to learn, right?
That's what
And
I've
so
heard.
there's a whole lot that I thought I knew. And then upon further review, you looked it up, something my mama always employed us to do, or it's employed us to do as children, to look it up. And you go like, dude, I was wrong. And so I was just thinking, I was hoping, I'm a big fan of the movies, Imitation of Life, the first one and the second one. And I'm hoping that when I talk about the difference in terms of these movies, that I think it was I know it's Louise Beavers, who played in the original. So hopefully I didn't drop Hattie McDaniels, because it was not Hattie McDaniels. It was not Butterfly McQueen. It was, and I forgot her name already, but it was not those last two that I mentioned. So anyway, phone lines open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. I don't know, based on what we synced yesterday, how good the Bucks are going to be. They really controlled that game last night against the Pacers. The Pacers are our rivals. Come on, the Pacers should be our rivals.
Well, they beat us 4 out of 5 times.
They sure did, and they beat us in the money tournament too.
Yeah.
And they stole the ball.
Yeah.
But they shut down Halliburton last night, and the Bucks did pretty well without Giannis.
You got to admit, anytime, and that concerns me too. I mean, it's a plus that he got 35 in the first half, but 0 in the second half.
Dude shut him down. Dude, he couldn't breathe. He could not breathe. This kid got on him. He was on him like glue. Yeah, but didn't need it. And the other good thing was the fact that they shut him down. Other people stepped up.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They play again tomorrow night. They're thinking that Giannis will get back for some part of the series. But obviously they need to win the 2 at home.
If you take care of home, you should be fine.
You should be okay, because they have home court advantage. Most of the games were blowouts yesterday. I did watch the Pelicans and OKC. That turned out to be a pretty good game. It came down.
Was that a 2-point game, wasn't it?
Yep, came down to the end. So, but you could really see, and even at the end of the game, I believe that experience makes a big difference in the playoffs. And you could see that some of these, and you saw with Indiana, they're not used to being at this level. Now they can adjust, but it was obvious some of the turnovers that you saw, people are not there. So the Bucks have the experience, and they reiterated last night, the Bucks is the oldest team in the NBA.
And there was a point that they were the youngest.
They were the youngest, and you go from that to that. And wait a minute, speaking of Bucks and a connection, do you know that Phoenix gave Grayson Allen a $70 million extension?
Wow.
He got a $70 million extension. Wow.
He's not that good.
I know. Now I know I think he leads the league in 3-pointers. I don't know if it's 3-point percentages. 3-pointers.
You look a little nervous, man, when Michelle walked behind you. You got a little nervous there.
Because she'll fire on me. She'll fire on me, man. You don't
Keith,
know.
Did you make the roster over there on the wall over there?
What roster?
You got
no.
Yvette name over there, Sandra, Jeanette.
Who's bitch?
Is Michelle name over there? Your mic is on, Michelle, just so you know. Can you do that Greg impersonation one more time before you go? Greg Kennedy.
Debo, you so mad.
That's my guy, though.
When she does it, reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever saw the rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State.
Okay.
And they would talk about how Woody Hayes would get so fired up, right? We're playing Michigan. We're playing Michigan.
What's with this commercial, man, where they bringing back the old practice?
Yeah.
We talking about practice? What are they bringing that commercial back for?
Hey, man, because AI is getting paid, and he should be getting paid.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's why. I mean, it was we talking about practice.
we ain't talking about a real game.
Right.
We talking about practice.
Someone was comparing. What was it yesterday? Kyrie Irving, and they said that Kyrie Irving is the best finisher in the game. And they said, and then the person that they evoked was Allen Iverson, because when Allen Iverson went to the rack, there wasn't no stopping him. What was he? He weighed like 115 pounds. That dude had heart. I thought it was ironic that that he and Shaq were in the same class. You know, that went into the Hall of Fame. They're in the same class, and you could see where this little man dominated, but then you could see where this big man dominated.
Yeah, for his size, it was amazing.
It was amazing.
Whatever happened to Spud Webb, man?
I haven't seen little Spud.
Man, you know you're wrong.
I know. Well, he was little. You know what was?
Are you taller than Spud?
Oh yeah. Spud was only about 5'6", 5'7". And we ain't going to even talk about how big Muggsy was, right?
Muggsy Bogues.
But to watch them in the ACC, because they played against each other in the ACC, trying to post each other up was amazing. Then in the pros, they try to post each other up. I don't know. And do you think Muggsy Bogues should be Hall of Fame? No?
I don't know. I mean, remarkable the things he was able to do at his size.
Right.
But does that make you Hall of Fame caliber? I don't know. I don't think so.
My buddy pointed something out, and I hadn't even thought about this. I love the conversations he has. You know Mike Bird, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Mike Bird has always been Mike Bird, as long as I can remember, we always go back to top 5, But he pointed out, I think he said there were only 6 teams in the NBA that ever won back-to-back championships.
Lakers,
Boston, certainly Boston.
I'm lost after that.
San Antonio.
Okay, I can believe that.
I don't know if San Antonio was multiple or back-to-back. They were multiple. The Lakers, the Houston Rockets, Chicago Bulls.
That was Elijah Wan days.
Mm-hmm. Chicago Bulls. And then the Celtics. Is there one more? Oh, Detroit Pistons.
Joe
they went back to back.
Okay.
Yeah, they went back to back. And what he was saying was, because we were arguing about, now he's a Marquette grad. Mm-hmm. So I always get on him because he can't stand Doc Rivers. I'm like, dude, really? y'all with this, I don't know. He was before Doc. And so we were talking about how difficult it is for any NBA coach to win an NBA championship.
Absolutely.
And so you should be getting you should get your propers because it is rare. I mean, and then when you look at people who are able to do back-to-back, that's even rare.
And even to win as a player and coach.
Yes. Bill Russell.
Mm-hmm. Steve Kerr,
Al Attles.
Mm-hmm.
Al Attles. Trying to think who else would be. Phil Jackson.
Yeah, you got to put
Pat Riley.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And because I mean, look at that, and then look at the number of guys, even like some of the greatest analysts and color guys, if you will. Color the game. I don't mean color and skin color, but like Charles Barkley, never got a ring. But one of the 50 greatest.
John Stockton, Karl Malone, never won a ring. Let me ask this question to get the caller. So should Chris Webber go to the Hall of Fame?
No comment. I never liked Webber.
You never liked? No. I call her welcome to the program.
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Good morning, Keith. Good morning, Debo. Man.
Good morning.
Good morning, Milwaukee. Tyrone W. speaking. A couple different things. I don't have the sticks in front. I think your question earlier was, did Tyrone Muggsy Bogues go to Hall of Fame?
No, should he go?
Oh, I mean, I don't. He's in the leader category in certain things. I think like steals and something else there. But I mean, between Tyrone Muggsy Bogues and Spud Webb. Spud Webb won the slam dunk contest, I think once, maybe twice, once at least. I know for sure.
He did.
Yeah, but
And
winning the slam dunk shouldn't get you in the Hall of Fame.
Well, no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying in general, you're talking about height. I mean, well, Spud Webb was only, 3, maybe 4 inches taller than Tyrone Muggsy Bogues. So no, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, at that height, you can still.
Hey, Tyrone,
Yeah,
can I ask you a question?
Please do.
Why you keep saying Tyrone Muggsy Bogues? Because y'all share the same name. You want to be sure?
Well, hey,
nobody calls him Tyrone Muggsy Bogues, but his mama and you.
Well,
Hey, you know what? Hey, Tyrone, it's a cold day, right? I was doing a funeral for a guy, and I've known him all my life. And his name was.
You were doing it for him or for his family?
For his family. He was in his honor.
Yeah.
And so I said, this brother was so cold.
Mm-hmm.
They named the book after him in the Bible, Mark.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
That's how cold he was. He got a book named after him.
Wow.
So they had a couple of songs out there about Tyrone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I appreciate the accolades. Well, anyway, but you have to wear the name. The name can't wear you.
That's profound, bro.
That's the powerful thing about it. It's most certainly suited for a king, indeed.
So you think Bogues should get in?
I mean, if there were some good games. I mean, there were some good performances.
That Charlotte run, when he was with Charlotte, they were balling.
Yeah,
they were balling.
And
here's the other thing. And I just do this and then basketball is different because basketball does not have a pro basketball Hall of Fame. Okay. It is a Hall of Fame, so it's your basketball career.
Yeah.
And when you look at Muggsy Bogues played on one of the greatest high school teams of all time when he played on that Baltimore Dunbar team. Right. So I think Reggie Williams was on that team.
Okay.
So I don't know. Well, let me ask you this one. Should Chris Webber talk about Chris Webber?
Well, I mean, see that as far as his playing, well, I mean, he did. For me personally, I may stir up some haters, or whatever. I think he did. I enjoyed his college career more than I did his pro.
Okay.
But then he came out with the, out of all the things Michigan needs right now is another place to buy marijuana. So I love the guy for the athlete and the person that he is, but I got to talk with him about some of these things he's doing.
Yeah, he really put those dudes in a tough situation because, and it just I think he just finally got back to Michigan. There was years that he would not even go on campus. Yeah. And I think last year now they ended up firing Juwan Howard.
Right. Yeah.
But he brought him back, and so they had the Fab Five all back together last year.
Missing, let me see, Jalen Rose.
Yeah.
Was King missing two? King, and the other one
King, Jackson.
There you go, Jackson.
Rose, Howard, and Weber. That was
okay, right.
Jackson, y'all forgetting one of the other small guys.
Who that?
Nate Archibald.
Nate Archibald's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Nate should be in. Yeah,
he's in. And then someone just texted me Calvin Murphy. I think Calvin Murphy's in too.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, and I wanted to speak on the Bucks real quickly, but I just wanted to go back out to the Seattle team there with Lenny Wilkins. I mean, for a guy that was a quiet. I mean, the year that they should have won it, but they ran up against Wes Unseld, Elvin Hayes, and Mitch Kupchak and all them. Greg Ballard out there in Washington. But
you talking about that?
I'll hold on to the break then.
No, it wasn't a break. That was a
okay.
Well, how about this? And it took so long for him to get in. Bobby Dandridge, you were talking about that Bullet team, so I want to throw in Bobby Dandridge.
Yeah, Dandridge too. But yeah, I mean, as far as if there was, you'd had downtown Freddie Brown, who was from here. Mm-hmm. Then you had Gus Williams. Mm-hmm. Marvin Webster was there for a few years there. That human eraser, blocking shots. I mean, I don't know where he is now. He went out to New York. Ain't heard from him since. But I'll hold on.
Oh, okay.
So you will.
You will.
I want to finish.
Okay. Oh, you will. The way it usually works, we ask, will you hold on? But you gonna hold on. All right. You listen to Community Voice, and Tyrone's gonna hold on. We're gonna be right back.
Feeling the weight of financial stress? Take a breather and listen to these quick tips to lighten the load in just 30 seconds. First, face your finances head on. Create a budget and track your spending to gain control. Next, tackle debt strategically. Prioritize high-interest loans and consider consolidation options. Practice self-care and seek support. Remember, you're not alone in the journey. By taking small steps, you can ease money stress and pave the way to financial peace of mind.
April is Financial Literacy Month. Presented by the Milwaukee County Office of Equity, we invite you, the listeners of WNOV, to learn more about how to protect, grow, and invest your dollars.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Hey, it's Boost Mobile here with a great deal to keep you connected and help you make the most of your tax refund. When you switch to Boost, you get 4 lines for $100, plus 4 free 5G smartphones like the Samsung Galaxy A15 or the Moto G Stylus 5G. We're here to bring you the best phones on America's largest 5G networks so you can get after it. Switching is easy. Just head to your local Boost Mobile store for 4 lines and 4 phones for $100. Visit boostmobile.com for details. New customers only. Requires auto pay and ID verification. Other restrictions apply. See participating dealers for details.
MATC helps students achieve their college and career goals with classes for transfer students, degree and certificate programs, and skills for better jobs. Attend their open house on April 25th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the downtown Milwaukee campus. To learn more, visit matc.edu/open house. That's MATC's downtown Milwaukee campus on Thursday, April 25th. Go to matc.edu/open house.
Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice, and Tyrone was so gracious to hold over. So thank you, Tyrone. Thank you.
I'm here. I'm here. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You hear the sarcasm in that? He was so gracious as to hold the line for us. We thank you so much, Tyrone. Go right ahead, sir.
Thank you, Devo. Thank you, Keith. And I'll get back to, because I wanted to get to the Bucks there, but Seattle, Lenny Wilkens, most certainly, it was downtown. Freddie Brown was your spark, coming off the bench, your sparker, and those were 3-pointers even before the line was even there. Gus Williams was the floor general, the chocolate wizard. Daryl Dawkins was chocolate thunder, but Gus Williams was chocolate wizard.
Yeah, he was the wizard.
When Dennis Johnson came along, Lenny Wilkens in his player days, I loved him as a player and a coach.
But you know what? There's another Milwaukee connection to that team, which is John Johnson.
Okay, that's the one I was trying. Yeah, he was good too. He was the big rebounder. Yeah, because it was Dennis Johnson and John Johnson, right? Yep. But now let me finish real quick. Dennis Johnson was the true extension of Lenny Wilkens because they should have won it back to back. But like I said, they ran into Elvin Hayes, Wes Unseld, and Mitch Kupchak, and Ballard and all them. But yeah, that was, and they never really fussed. You know, I remember Dennis Johnson taking the ball up, and he had it behind his back there, but he was looking down at the referee like, "Are you for real that you really call that on me?" Like he was going to spike him with the basketball. But it was so funny. I really enjoyed watching Lenny Wilkens coach as well. I didn't, play, but I think, and even going with the Bucks there, I think the bench is really going to have to step up. It was a wonderful game last night. The bench is going to have to step up. We've got to find a way to make some way. I think Middleton earned his money last night, as well as Dame too. But yeah, you're going to have to. I think finish out the season, see where it goes, who retires, who gets moved around there. But you got to make some room for some of these young players. Northwestern, Boo Booey, ball handler, all these East Coast fellas, Brian Kofbrenner, Creighton, and all these different. There's so many young legs out there that can help you with. Beauchamp's dinged up there, so he needs more minutes.
All right.
Well,
I got a guess, man. So,
okay, all right. Thanks a lot. We'll pick it up between now and Friday.
Your willingness to be so cooperative and to hold on until after the break.
You're such a hater.
I'm not a hater, man. I am. I'm thanking him for being gracious.
Yeah. I'm sure that's exactly what you're thanking him for.
All right, we haven't Stuart. See, you messing with me now. We have in studio with us Miss Wanda Montgomery. It's the Black Child Development Institute, right?
Absolutely, yes.
How are you?
I am wonderful this Monday morning. All is well.
Okay, all is well.
All is well. It's Monday morning. Started a little early. 5 a.m. at the gym. And now I'm here with you.
Well, excellent. And you're here to talk about an affair that you all are having?
We are having a gala on Saturday, May 4th. And it is to celebrate us expanding from Milwaukee to the state of Wisconsin. So we have Black Child Development. Milwaukee has been in existence for 29 years. And we have a number of initiatives that are supported by a national foundation to support us moving statewide. And so this event will be the kind of the announcement of us moving to statewide programming.
What is the work you all do?
So the work that we do on a national level, we have what we call 8 essentials. Good morning.
The work that they do is take care of me. That's the work. That's the work.
I didn't know Michelle was gonna still be here. I saw her earlier.
I didn't know she was gonna still be here too.
Well,
where was the security around here? People wandering.
Black folks here to take care of black folks. That's the work.
So we have 8 essential outcomes on a national level, and I'm going to read them so I don't miss anything, but this is related to Black children. We believe they all should live and play in a safe community, that they be born at a healthy weight, attend a school that affirms and expands them, be seen as a child, enjoys meals with vegetables, breathes clean air and drinks clean water.
Can you roll that back?
Which one?
Enjoy meals with vegetables?
Absolutely.
Or should they just have meals? Because some of those vegetables you don't enjoy.
Well, you pick the ones you do.
All right.
We know green leafy vegetables are good. Green beans, corn. Well, corn is our starch. But what you start children with, that's usually what they continue with. If you start them with fast foods, that's what they're going to love.
And I think the nutritional piece is real important in terms of development. We don't realize that.
Absolutely.
And we're putting a whole lot of poison into our kids. And I think we're seeing some of the residual effects of the poisons that they ingest. So.
Yep. And then has books and toys that reflect who they are and can be. Hangs out on a safe and appropriate internet. These are the 8 essentials from the national perspective. In Milwaukee and in the state right now, we focus on has books and toys. So we do a lot of programming around literacy. Enjoys meats and vegetables. We have programming around access and recipes to prepare meals that kids would like. Certainly be seen as a child. We support programming in schools that affirms. In schools, we also look at early childhood education programs, so childcare. We have worked in and continue to work in reducing infant mortality, so the healthy weight, and live and play in a safe community. And we say safe community, but really safe homes, because we have more children getting harmed in their homes, either through neglect, abuse, gun violence, other things that could be prevented.
So is this just part of then, as you make these points, how is it educational? Is it some case management involved with it? What does that look like in terms of how do you deliver that?
Ours is pretty much educational, but we also look at working with policymakers to get policies in place that support the programming we want to see. We, as a part of this expansion, we're building a network across the state, because anytime you're talking about changing policy and going to legislators, you can't go there with 50 people behind you. And we can't go just with Black people. We need to be more expansive in who is with us, whether that be individuals or organizations, but to really address some of the things that need to be changed on a policy level.
So is there like I'm lost for words right now, like a collaborative approach to this where you're working with people outside of BCDI?
Absolutely. So we have a number of partners, because we don't do direct service. So then we identify those that may do direct service to connect our families to. Give you an example. We partnered on a grant for the last 5 years, Healthy Start. We did some aspects of that programming, and we partnered with Children's Hospital, the city of Milwaukee, Easter Seal, a healthcare provider. And so the case managers came out of Children's, but we did work around community engagement, parent training, and then training around health equity.
And that Healthy Start grant was there to it was there as part of this whole effort. Milwaukee has one of the highest infant mortality rates in the country.
Yes.
And to address that.
Yes. And it was a 5-year grant. It just expired the end of March. So we're waiting on, we believe that we will be funded again, but because of the federal government and some of their delays, they just told us to continue until they get everything passed.
Yeah, I hear people talk about, our children are our future.
Right.
But it seems that we do some things that are even contradictory to making that statement in terms of what we do, and we look at child development.
Right. They can't be our future if they not, number one, if they're not here, because they don't live in a safe community.
Right.
They can't be our future if they're not educated to be able to do some of the things that we know we need them to do. They can't be our future if they're not healthy. I look at them, yes, as our future, but they're our present. And when I say our present, they're our present because they are the ones that we need to be taking care of right now. So they're our present so that we can have a future.
You talked about policies and
yes.
how, the systemic part of what impacts our children. Are there other forms of advocacy that you do? I know you're saying you're trying to have policy changes on a legislative level. Are there any other levels of advocacy that you do for children?
Well, right now, we may get somebody, there's an issue going on, and will you sign a letter for us, or will you come and stand with us, or will you, what do you have, what resources do you have that can help raise this up? We may do something like that. What I will tell you, I just spent last week in New Orleans. When I say that we are moving to a statewide coalition as it relates to Black child development, we're partnering with right now 6 5 other groups across the state. We have a tribal agency, among a multiracial agency, a Latino agency, and another African American, and then Black Child Development, to build what we call a BIPOC network across the state. Because when you talk about how do you go to the legislature or how do you support others, this is not us going alone. We know that we have strength in numbers, and we know that Black children are typically the highest in terms of disparities in all areas. And so if we can improve outcomes for Black children, we can improve them for all children. And so we've created a network across the state, and the name of our group is called Kaleidoscope. But while I was in New Orleans last week, there were 8 other states in the room that, again, have those high disparities: California, New Mexico, Louisiana, Michigan, Ohio, New Jersey, Wisconsin, and there's one more. Texas.
I was surprised that when we were dealing with life course and we would get the infant mortality data,
right?
How high New Mexico was. That was really surprising to me.
It is, and we just met with them last week, and a lot of times the issues around this is it goes back to policy. If you don't, if that's not on the radar of the people that are making decisions, it's not going to get better. And as much as I may have a passion or an organization has the desire, without funding, without policy that supports the work that you're doing, it's going to stay that way. And so what we did last week was begin to look at what are you doing here in Louisiana that we might be able to replicate here. Although we know we need to do things in our states, what about on a national level? What can be changed on a national level that then drills down to the state level?
One of the things you give books.
Yes.
I had read someplace that it says that a child should have access to at least 100 books. Where are we now with this whole idea of literacy and reading? We see, we were talking about earlier on the earlier program, this idea of proficiency when it comes to reading. I mean, if you're talking 15%, on this MPS,
right?
How important is that literacy piece?
It is the foundation for anything that we do in life. I mean, and we see people as adults that struggle. By that time, they're embarrassed. You got to have somebody else read for you or tell you what something says. But children, first of all, we don't wait till they get here for them to start reading or getting books. Even in the womb, parents need to be reading to their child. What I've learned, and I've worked with some teachers at MPS, and what you hear is, well, we don't like kids to take books because they're not going to bring them back.
They lose them. Yeah.
Well, they lose them, or the reality is, because I spent time in child welfare, a lot of times children move from place to place to place. The last thing they taken is books. And so what we decided to do some 5 years ago, we created an event called Brunch of Books, and we get it funded. Because what I learned over the years, I have people that want to donate books to us all the time. We got these books. We got this book. And I'm like, okay, what do they look like? And I get them, and they books that the pages is out, the cover is ripped. I'm like, So I made a decision years ago. Any child that gets a book from Black Child Development is brand new. And it's going to have stories and pictures that look like them. They deserve the best. And we don't know. Every family is not the same. But that has been our goal, and we've been successful in doing that, getting books into the hands of children. Now, we work with child care programs to get them out. We work with the early. So our goal is 0 to 8. So we're trying to work with children early. And we work with the parents.
8th would put them at what, 3rd grade?
Yes.
4th grade?
3rd.
And that's significant because there was a study that shows that prisons are constructed based on the test scores of those 3rd graders.
Absolutely. So it's all relative. When people say, "Oh, they'll learn, they'll get it," they're not.
Not by osmosis.
Right. You got to start, and you have to be deliberate. And what I tell parents, a lot of times folks say, "Well, we don't have books." Well, you know what? You're driving down the street, read the signs on the billboards, read the signs on the buildings, read the sports magazines, whatever you have access to. You read it and then encourage or ask your kids, what does that say?
Well, the amazing thing is for some kids, their first words that they can read is McDonald's.
Oh, well, that too. Or something else. Because, you know, my family was in child care for almost 50 years. And some kids can read a whole lot of stuff that they ain't got no business reading. And they will tell you.
You know what my mother said, though?
What?
I was reading Harold Robbins' The Carpetbagger.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty racy, you know. And my mom found the book. And she was talking to a friend of hers. And she said, this boy is up here reading this book. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Then you know what my mother said? But he's reading.
Right. That part.
So, you know, I mean, and we were having this conversation. I think I was having it with Theo Lisman because he was talking about certain rap musicians he wouldn't let his kids listen to till they got to a certain age. But I think in terms of reading, wow, if he's reading it or she's reading it, I think that's how my mom looked at it. Or another thing she said, look and see when he used the bathroom, what he's taking in the bathroom.
Right. Well, you know, the other piece of that is if your child is really interested in music artists, whether they rap or, you know, whatever, find all the information you can on that person. Make them read, because as they get interested in reading, I mean, I have adults right now, adults that are my age. They read somewhat, but I promise you, they can tell you, I just heard y'all talking about the Bucks. They can tell you everybody's stats and, you know, the whole history of some of these players. And I'm like, who does that? Because that's what's important to you.
Right.
So, you know, our son, when he was coming up, he read, but he not like we wanted him to. So I'd get the sports magazines.
And that's interesting you say that because that was my thing. Oh man, I could the sports page, and I started so, and I think one of my godsons, he was interested in Charles Barkley, and so we said, hey, I don't know if we gave him a book or we told him to get a book to find out, read about that important. So for us to be able to, something else you talked about was this whole idea of nutrition. And a lot of the kids that we deal with are living in food deserts on severely restricted income in terms of what they can do. I think there's something like it's 5 days after your food stamp allotment has been used before you get your next food. So there's 5 days there basically.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I guess I can say now I'm old school because I've been around for a minute. And, you know, there are foods that you can prepare that will last you. I'm still the one that I'll cook food and freeze it. And so the days that I don't feel like cooking, I go get it out the freezer. Our young moms, for whatever reason, they don't have the time or they don't know how. And so they don't. I don't know when I've been to McDonald's. I mean, I'm just not a fast food person. You know, even in some restaurants, my husband will say, I'm going to Cheesecake Factory. You want something? Nope. I'd rather go and fix me a salad and I'm good. But that's me. Now, that ain't always been the case. But that ain't always been the case. I'm being honest. But so, you know, we need to come up with different ways to encourage young moms And there's so many. We have recipes that we use with Black Child Development, creative ways to get your kids to eat vegetables. Celery, put peanut butter in, or cheat. Look at you. You don't like peanut butter?
I do this thing.
He's joking.
I do this thing like our contradictions in our eating habits. So I don't like peanut butter and jelly because when I was a kid, that was a staple, right? If we got hungry,
you ate peanut butter.
My mother said, "Go in there and make you a peanut butter sandwich." So after a while, I just didn't like it. But I told people, but I love peanut butter cookies. So you had this contradiction. I don't like cabbage, but I eat coleslaw. So it's kind of the same thing.
Well, because both of them got sugar in it.
Yeah.
The cookies got sugar and the
but
coleslaw.
It's still peanut butter.
Well, no, in a different form.
It is, but you eat it. So no, when I frowned on that I'm not a big peanut butter fan.
Brothers are in. One of my brothers is here right now from Texas, and we were sitting talking.
Right?
Yeah. He's
here. I said, hey,
I will.
That's former classmate.
And he's staying in my house.
Former classmate.
But listen, we was sitting around talking, and they come up with some stuff I don't even remember because they did a whole bunch of stuff we didn't do. Okay. I mean, my brothers did some stuff.
Okay.
They talking about y'all remember eating the mayonnaise sandwiches? I'm like, what? Mayonnaise between 2 slices of white bread?
Yes.
Now try to get some kids to eat that today.
Sugar
sandwiches.
Oh, you don't know nothing about that?
I know about it. I don't know if I ate it.
Bougie.
Ketchup sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Ketchup.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what messed me up yesterday. My grandson says, Grandpa, I'm hungry. I said, well, hey man, what you want, ham sandwich? No, I really just like white bread. Can I get 2 slices of bread? Give him 2 slices of bread.
And he ate just white bread? How old is he?
7.
Oh,
we were one night we were coming home from work, and either we were talking, we were same car, and I said, so what we're going to eat for dinner? And Rhonda said, well, we have some ground beef. We could eat hamburgers. She said, but we don't have any buns. So we put it on some light bread. What you telling me? You got no bun. Toasted bread. Are you before a bun? But yeah,
now I won't eat hamburger on bread. But I don't eat hamburgers a lot. Okay. I do chicken burger. Matter of fact, I prepared chicken burgers last night for me and Brian on brioche buns.
So you ground the chicken?
You can buy the patties in the store.
Oh, the chicken patties. Okay.
And they good.
But the nutrition piece is important. I mean,
absolutely.
Bougie.
Well,
chicken patty. You can't have no ground beef. No.
Chicken patty?
You don't want a burger.
No. It's a chicken burger. It's healthier for you.
Yeah. I did make a welfare burger.
Turkey. What's
Saturday.
a welfare burger? Wait a minute now. What's a welfare burger?
You know what a welfare burger is? It's green peppers, onions. I don't do bread. Put it all together, pat that boy up and grill it.
Oh,
that's welfare. That was made famous by Eddie Murphy's mama.
Oh,
what she called. But yeah, because he wanted to go to McDonald's, and she said we're gonna cook. But it's amazing because McDonald's is for a lot of people their staple.
Oh, I know, and but when you think about it, first of all, whatever you eat, it's gonna stick with you, but it ain't gonna help you.
Right.
And you're gonna be hungry sooner than later.
Well, the kids are going to school hungry.
They're going to school.
That impacts their learning.
My grandson is a junior now in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Where he is, it got a la carte. So you can go in and get all kinds of stuff. I hate to see his lunch bill because he's 6 foot something now. And he eats, but he don't eat a whole lot of vegetables. And he's very particular. Like I can cook stuff and he eats it, but he rather his mama cook it. And I'm like, fine, go.
Good for him. Now, I grew up with a single mom, and single moms cook differently because single moms always joke, what we gonna do, leave? We going nowhere. She cooking for a man. That's a little bit different, right? But she cooking for her kids. We hungry. We ain't going nowhere. So that nutrition becomes important, the literacy, that mind, body, and soul.
Right.
Talk a little bit, not a little bit. Tell us about the event.
So the event again is and first of all, I want to acknowledge WNOV as our media sponsor. So you may have heard a number of commercials on the station. We appreciate that. But the event is Saturday, May 4th. It begins at 5 p.m. It will be at the Hilton Milwaukee Center downtown. We will have a reception with live entertainment. Our national president from Black Child Development will be in town, along with a couple of other staff. We have people from across the state who will be attending. We have the mayor, the county exec will be there. We will have a DJ at the end, so it will turn into a party. We do have some other things that will go on that evening, but it is a celebration. The ticket prices are $150, and that will, help to support our work moving statewide. I bought some tickets to be given out. There are 4 tickets. You can give them out individually, or you can give them out as pairs. We are asking people to come in your finest African attire. But if you don't have African attire, you come in your finest after 5. If you don't have your finest after 5, you come with whatever you got on. We don't want that to be prohibitive for anyone.
Why'd you choose African attire this year?
Because, well, first of all, this is our first year doing this. Okay. And I didn't choose it. Our board chose it. Okay. And if you look at our website and our national website, it's Afrocentric. A lot of things we do, we want to promote and let our kids know where we came from. So that's what we chose. So we'll have African drummers, African dance. We're having a display that will be built specifically for us. That, I can't give all the stuff out, but we'll have certainly a delightful, delicious meal. It'll be healthy. I went down and tested. Now the dessert ain't healthy, but the food will be healthy.
Moderation in all things.
Absolutely.
You don't have to eat the whole pie.
Well, it depends, because I told you I was in New Orleans last week, and one of our dinners we sat with a chef that prepared it in front of us and then gave us the recipe. So I will be testing out some recipes, including how to make, we call them pralines. They're pralines.
What is a praline?
It's a candy. Okay. That is a mixture, brown sugar, something else in it, and then pecans crumbled up. And I thought that they baked them, but they don't. You lay them out on like parchment paper and drop them, and they firm up.
Oh, it's natural heat.
Yep. Wow. But they good. Nothing but sugar.
So if people want to purchase tickets, where can they go?
They can go on our website, which is bcdi-wisconsin.org, bcdi-wisconsin.org, or they can call our office 414-236-5641. We have a Facebook page and on our website. So, Facebook has information on it. And that again is bcdi-wisconsin. It's bcdi-wisconsin. So, yeah.
President Emeritus?
Yes.
Who's the current president now?
Dr. Michelle Turner. She is she owns a child care program, but she's also a professor at University of Madison.
Okay.
So yeah, I was supposed to be retired,
right?
But in my retirement, I continue to promote this because I believe in it. So when you believe in something, and in life, do you really retire? Bible said, "Work while it's day." Because night come and you ain't doing nothing. Working. So it keeps me active, keeps me going, and I believe in it.
Again, that is the BCDI, Black Child Development Institute's gala. That's going to be held on May 4th at the Milwaukee Hilton.
Absolutely. Right downtown.
Right downtown, the old Sheraton.
Was it the Sheraton?
Yeah, it was
Mark Plaza.
Yeah, but before Mark Plaza was the Sheridan.
You really dating yourself.
Oh man, you really want me to date myself? Date myself? Remember Dr. Bob?
Oh yeah.
Remember
O.C. White
He broadcast his television. Remember, he had a television program
down there.
He broadcast it because I don't know if it's still. Remember they had that big
tower?
Yeah,
on
top there.
I think it is because I think you can see that from the expressway.
Right. But yeah, that's where he did a show. And I want to say Vic Pitts and the Cheaters might have did theirs down there too. Omar Dupree.
Well, see, you remember that stuff because it was important to you.
Yes, important to all Milwaukee. Vic Pitts and the Cheaters. You know, Vic Pitts and the Cheaters. Omar Dupree. That's one of the greatest show business names of all time. Omar Dupree.
I remember Omar living down in the projects.
Yeah.
That's Bobby Dupree, brother.
Is that Bobby Dupree's brother?
Bobby Dupree, brother.
Hey, they was all related some kind of way.
Yeah. I know. There's a bunch of Duprees.
Yeah.
Wanda, always good seeing you. Again, the Black Child Development Institute's gala that'll be held on May 4th. Again, if they want to get tickets, they can go to
bcdi-wisconsin.org or call 414-236-5641. Or if you're on Facebook with me or you got my phone number, call me. I'll work you out a deal. I'm President Emeritus.
She got some
I'll put you on the payment plan. Hey.
Because we tried to get you there.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, Wanda.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Devo.
All right.
He did the spot.
She did.
He recorded.
Yeah, you're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they fought with expert timing. There were funky Chinamen from funky Chinatown. They were chopping them up, they were chopping them down. It's an ancient Chinese art, and everybody knew their part. From a fainting to a slip, and a kicking from the hip, everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they fought with expert timing. There was Funky Billy Chin and Little Sammy Chung. He said, "Here comes the big boss. Let's get it on." We took the bow and made a stand. Started swaying with the hand. Sudden motion made me skip. Now we're into a brand new trip. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening, but they did it with expert timing. Oh, yeah. It was kung fu fighting. Those guys were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. Make sure you have expert timing. Kung fu fighting. Hands and feet, fast as lightning.
All right. Welcome back to Community Voice. And before I get to President Nicholas, let me do this. I'll call her, but let me shout out today is my baby sister Francine's birthday. Happy birthday, Francine. You only get one. So happy birthday for another trip around the sun to my beloved sister, Francine Parris Sappho. So happy birthday, Francine. We're joined in studio by Mr. Clarence Nicholas. He is the president of the NAACP Milwaukee branch. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I need to finish that. Are you okay? No, you're good. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great.
Good, good. Well, welcome to the program. And here again, we're talking about the 100th anniversary of the Milwaukee branch of the NAACP.
Yes. Yes, I'm Clarence P. Nicholas, president of the NAACP.
Closer to the mic so they can hear you. Yeah, we won't be able to hear you. There you go.
Say it again.
No, you go ahead.
As I said, president of the NAACP, and every second Monday of the month at 10 a.m. on the Community Focus, hosted by Keith Parris, I will discuss what's been happening as well as the upcoming celebration of the 100th anniversary of the NAACP branch in October.
So give us, this is a name, or these are alphabets that, we grow up with, right? You learn your ABCs, then you learn the NAACP. Talk about the history of this organization. I mean, we see the name, but talk about its history a little bit.
So we'll say the NAACP stands for the National Advancement of the Association of Colored People. That hasn't changed. We still deal with people of color. Now, the history has been a rich history. We'll consider it the oldest, boldest, and largest civil rights organization in the United States.
So what is the mission of the NAACP?
So our mission is to achieve equity, political rights, social inclusion by advancing policies and practices to expand human and civil rights, eliminate discrimination, and accelerate the well-being and education, economic security of Black people and people of color.
When you talk about some of the things that have been done by the NAACP, the work that they've done, and you talked about civil rights. NAACP was very involved with the open housing marches in 67, 68.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, wasn't it their youth branch that then kind of became the Commandos?
Yes, the Commandos. And it's interesting because Fred Reed, one of the Commandos, is one of my advisors.
Okay. And so the work that we saw, certainly we talk about civil rights, and then we know that up until there was a delinkage with the NAACP Legal Fund, Inc. But a lot of the work was going to challenge laws, right?
Yes.
Through litigation.
Yes. We have Thurgood Marshall, who's a key figure in the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. And one interesting fact is he went to the Supreme Court with 38 cases, and he won 25 of those cases. And of course, being such a challenger and champion in civil rights, he was put on the bench to somewhat silence him as one of the Justice Marshall,
and then
first African American on the Supreme Court bench.
Constant Motley.
Constant Motley was one of the ones that perhaps should have been there first, but she laid the groundwork for Thurgood.
Dr. King was a member of the NAACP, and he worked with. Of course, he started his own group, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. So, what was in terms of Dr. King and the work of Dr. King, and how did that align with the work of the NAACP?
Dr. King in 1963 told us that there are 5 essentials to a healthy community. So education, employment, health care, housing, and social justice. But he also went further to say, if one of those 5, just one, is missing, that community is not healthy. So for the last 100 years, the NAACP has been working to bring about a healthy community in various sectors all throughout the United States.
What are some of the issues now, if we say on a local level, that the Milwaukee branch is involved in terms of issues that might impact the community?
One is we're working to eliminate insurance redlining, eliminate discrimination in providing quality education. We're working to make sure that the Milwaukee Public Schools is providing education that's meaningful to our children. We want to eliminate housing discrimination and substandard housing for the poor in various communities.
You said something, and it was very interesting because during the civil rights movement and even post-civil rights movement, we used the term equality, but equality now has been either changed to equity, or equity is an accompanier of equality. Was that purposeful in terms of making sure you identify the issue of equity, as opposed to in the past where we heard so much about equality?
Yes, because policies have changed, but also practices are responsible for those changes. So if you have equity, then you're looking also for practices that will give you the equality that you mentioned. So equity is now the buzzword.
This is kind of a lob ball question. Yeah, I'm just going to lob this question to you. Was it intentional that your office is on King Drive?
Yes, it was. Is and was. First, we were at Garfield and King Drive. Now, this was under Farris Cheney's administration. And of course, Mr. Farris Cheney is the first police sergeant in this Milwaukee.
One of the founders of North Milwaukee State Bank.
Yes, and one of the founders of Milwaukee State Bank. Nonetheless, we did move again to Hopkins, 26.
That's right. I forgot about that. You had the building.
And then we moved back to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, and we've been there ever since. So we've been there, I think, since 2008.
Why is it important in this world that we live in now, where everything seems to be digital or remote? Why is it important to have that physical presence in the office that people can call or come to?
Well, we have noted that there have been many individuals, a large number of individuals that come to our office with complaints, in need of assistance from our legal redress committee, and in need of assistance just to know some of the policies and practices they're faced with that's discriminatory, and they need guidance as to where they should go, what they should do in order to make a difference or to resolve those matters that they're confronted with.
As the president of the local branch, what's your vision in terms of addressing some of these issues that have been brought to you, issues of concern from the community?
I'm glad you asked that question. It has been my vision to incorporate what is called the Honorable Lloyd A. Bobby Inc. And in incorporating such, we would have a legal, as you talked about, the the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. So we're using the Lloyd A. Bobby Foundation, Inc. to act similar. And what we want to do as a vision that we have is to hire a lawyer, paralegals, to secure volunteers like from MATC or Marquette University Law School to give them experiences to work with legal problems that they can help to provide solutions and give them experience in law. Now, we would hire a lawyer, and our goal is to have a clinic once a week. And we'll say Mondays because we only open on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So the clinic will be Monday and sometimes Friday. And people can walk in as well as make appointments and to get assistance with some of the legal problems they are faced with, or just to know some of the things that they need to know about some of the situations they're faced with in terms of whether or not they need to address them in a certain way.
We talk about, and I don't know how involved NAACP was on this in terms of the gerrymandering and the redrawing of district maps. Did the NAACP take a position on that?
At the time, former President James Hall was instrumental in assisting with some of the legal help that was needed to address the gerrymandering problem. And he was the one that did most of the work for us. Of course, it was pro bono, but former President James Hall was an attorney.
The Freedom Fund dinner, how that is your major fundraiser?
It is the major fundraiser for our local branch, NAACP. It keeps our doors open so that we can provide the community with an office. And it's interesting, of the 8 branches of the NAACP in the state of Wisconsin, the Milwaukee NAACP is the only branch that has a physical office. And we serve people in the community as well as sometimes out of the community to come in, call in, make appointments, and we're able to assist where possible as needed on an as needed basis.
So we just had a vote, referendum for funding for MPS. What was the NAACP's position on that referendum?
The executive committee voted at the executive committee meeting in March to support the referendum. And of course, you know that our students are in need of the funding that can be gotten from the referendum. But since you mentioned the referendum, you have to remember whether that referendum was voted up or down. After that vote comes the budget. Now, in this instance, it was voted up, and we supported it. So what we'll be doing is working on a strategic plan that can involve the community with input in the budget that's coming in May. And we need to make sure that the Milwaukee community know that there are certain elements of that budget that will provide schools and school districts. And since I said schools district, school district 4 is the most impoverished district in the Milwaukee public schools system. But notice this, school district 4 brings in most of the revenue of all the schools because of its large population.
And special needs students.
And special needs students, as well as the large population that brings in the revenue, but they're getting the least amount of dollars. And we find that interesting. So with that budget, we need to share with the community how they can be a voice and a force to make sure that that school district, which is located in zip code 53206, get what's needed. And let me go further too, because we want to adopt that particular school district because we want to work in partnership with Call to Action Committee, Inc., which is headed by Salim Alameen, co-chair, but chair is Mac Weddle, the former neighborhood house director. And what they would like to do is to have North Division become a non-instrumentality public charter school. But we want the feeder schools, the elementary, there are several elementary schools that feed into Andrew Douglas Middle School. And then in turn, Andrew Douglas Middle School kids would go to the non-instrumentality North Division. Nonetheless, it has to be restructured for that to happen, because you're seeing now kids going all over the city as opposed to assigning kids to North. And North is under enrollment.
Because it's very interesting, because the school district now is predominantly people of color. There still is some elements of segregation that I think is impacting. And I know that at one point NAACP talked a lot about integration. This idea of now, and I think the segregation is probably it's racial, but it's also economic. So how does what positions does what position does the NAACP then take in terms of, are we, when we the neighborhood school concept was put into place because there were people who were kind of in a back way pushing back against this whole desegregation, which is very different than integration, but desegregation, right? And we're kind of still dealing with the outcomes. I don't know how much of that is just how the districts are aligned and where the students are going, or is it something bigger than that?
Well, you hit a point that caused me to be interested in coming to Milwaukee. Now, I'm from Charlottesville, Virginia, and as a Virginian in 1954, we were products of predominantly Black schools in Charlottesville. And at the time, I decided I did not want to go to what was called an integrated school. I wanted to go to a predominantly African-American school, and I did. But I made a promise to the Lord that if he would allow me to go there, because the school had such a rich history. You probably saw on TV, remember the Titans? Mm-hmm. Well, they went undefeated, that movie. But for the school that I went to, we went undefeated and unscored on. Wow. And that was the reason also that I wanted to go. Now, I was a basketball player. I enjoyed it. But let me get back to your point. I said I wanted to go somewhere where I could assist, because I knew what it was like to grow up in a segregated school system. All right. And I would work to fight for desegregation in a school district that I would become a teacher in. So I went to Wilberforce University, the first African-American school in the United States, 1856. But my point is, I studied the desegregation efforts. Now, here's what I found out for Milwaukee. Back to your point. There were 10 plaintiffs in the lawsuit which the NAACP filed, and Honorable Lord A. Bobby was the person who was the litigator. But notice this, those 10 families were middle-class families. So the case in point of the Milwaukee desegregation settlement agreement did not involve lower socioeconomic students. So therefore, they settled out of federal court, not in federal court, out of federal court. And having done that, the problems that exist at that time, they exist now. So we're looking at a way to find strategically to look at what needs to be done to resolve many of those issues that are facing us. And as we talked about, one of the school board districts, and I talked about District 4, it shows you predominantly African-American, underfunded, poor resources, etc.
Yeah, it was integration wasn't so much that Black people wanted to be with white people. I mean, because culturally, socially, we have our own little, but it's where the resources was.
Correct.
And I understand that we're in spite of people, right? But after a while, it becomes exhausting to be in spite of, right? I mean, that we have to work twice as hard. I heard that as a child. It's still probably true today, because if people are in certain situations where they're under-resourced, how do you that was always my issue with choice. How do you pay less money for people who are already distressed and think you're going to get the same product someone who's spending more money is going to get? I mean, that's crazy. The math doesn't add up, right? Just on that. I mean, and so it's an important. What was the impact of Act 12? I think Act 12 is our revenue sharing. Was that the?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you notice Act 12 with the 2% sales tax that was implemented, and our community is paying for that. But nonetheless, we have to look at the fact that it only goes towards police and firemen's pensions. So the Milwaukee Police Department and the Milwaukee Fire Department are able to benefit from the tax dollars, but it does not address in its fiscal policy inflation, full employment, economic growth. And we're looking at the fact that our own majority on the Common Council voted for such. And that's the impact that affects our Milwaukee community, because we need full employment, we need economic growth, and we need social justice, but not having economic growth, inflation, and full employment, it impacts the community. Now, there's a question, but the question involves the ethics. And if you look at the ethics code and you look at chapter 303, you'll find in there that our Common Council or our government, as well as our mayor, should be concerned about full employment, economic growth, etc. And yet they voted to accept the dollars just to support the fire and police department. And that's a slap in the face to the Milwaukee community. So we're addressing that. Now, we're going further than that. Pending, we're looking at a resolution that would be taken to the National NAACP Convention, which will be held July 13th through the 17th in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Y'all gonna get some work now?
Hopefully we will. But I tell you, we will be working on that particular act. Now, one thing in that act, and we have been talking about here this morning about that act. Now, Article 10, Section 3 of the Wisconsin Constitution states all school districts must be administered as uniformly as practical. So practically is not being done, and we have already talked about that. So that's an area we can deal with. But you got to remember too, in that act, they call them SRO officers. So school resource officers, to make it clear. That's police being put in public schools. And that act mandated that 25 police officers be put in 25 public schools here in the school district in Milwaukee. But they're asking the Milwaukee School District to pay for it. And we have yet to see how those officers are to provide services, how they will work with staff, how they will work with the students. Will there be a handbook that points out what areas they can deal with in schools? But the national NAACP demands that statistically every incident with those school resource officers be reported, and that we could look at it from a national level and look at the statistics on what happened, when it happened, how it happened, and what the results were.
Because urban schools, in terms of getting in those schools and weapons in the school, because they're so secure, that's not an issue. I don't know, other than if there's a student there to someone you can't deal with, you're going to just put them in the criminal justice system. I think that this is why people are looking at school resource officers. And if Uvalde is any indication, they did have a school security officer, and he didn't stop the shooter. So this idea, in my mind, is just a job creation for cops.
That is true, and it would be paid for by taxpayers' dollars, but from revenue that comes from our children. And hopefully, if we can make sure that it's done right, if we have to do it, it'll curb the school to prison pipeline. And we're concerned about that. And that's why we're looking at statistics on what happened, when it happened, how it happened, and what were the results.
Yeah, we have been joined in studio by President Clarence Nicholas of the Milwaukee branch of the NAACP. Every month, we'll sit down and have these conversations. Man, I really appreciate you coming in.
Well, I thank you very much. You made it comfortable for me, so I'm looking forward to the next session.
Excellent. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Milwaukee. This is Michelle Bryant, your host of Say Something Real. When President Joe Biden wanted to talk to Milwaukee voters, he called WNOV. And welcome President Biden to Milwaukee and to WNOV. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. Had a great event downtown, and I'm at the headquarters now, and we're feeling really good. It's a great day. We have a lot of 1,000 volunteers going out here in Wisconsin, out of Milwaukee in particular.
So we are ready to roll in Wisconsin.
Well, I tell you what, God love you. We get Wisconsin, we win it all.
For up-to-date election information, keep it locked on WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM.
Get ready, Wisconsin. The Black Child Development Institute is expanding its village statewide. Join us for an unforgettable evening of celebration and empowerment at our gala on Saturday, May 4th, 2024 at the Hilton Milwaukee City Center. Tickets are available for $150 per person and sponsorships are available. Adorn yourself in formal African attire as we celebrate this momentous occasion and the growth of our village. For more information and to purchase tickets, call 414-236-5641 or visit bcdi-wisconsin.org. That is 414-236-5641 or bcdi-wisconsin.org. Don't miss out on this unforgettable event. Together, let's build a brighter future for Wisconsin's children.
Milwaukee Films Black Lanes program aims to foster meaningful community conversations, promote celebration, and strengthen community bonds within and beyond the cinematic setting. Black Lanes was created with a singular focus to spotlight the incredible work of filmmakers of African descent by bringing their films to the Milwaukee Film Festival. These filmmakers explore the stories, the topics, and the histories that are deeply shared throughout the Black diaspora while inviting diverse audience engagement. Now celebrating this commemorative 10th year, the Black Lens program has evolved beyond the festival, offering year-round film programming. This promises even more unique cinematic experiences, honoring the rich legacy of Black film while championing the contemporary wave of Black filmmakers. For more information on the Black Lens program, go to mkefilm.org.
Whether you're a seasoned chef or a food enthusiast, you've tuned into the perfect frequency. This is Flavor Fix with Samantha Starr, where the aroma of freshly baked ideas meets the sizzle of exciting culinary conversations. Join us as we journey through the world of flavors, bringing you savory stories, delectable recipes, and the hottest culinary trends. Catch Flavor Fix on Mondays from 5 to 7 right here on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM The Voice.
The Hustle and Grow Show, powered by the Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship, will be Saturday, April 27th at 8 a.m. Please join us as we will have a special guest, Car VP, the rapper from Milwaukee. Also, we'll discuss Earth Day, Autism Awareness Month, Jazz Appreciation, and National Inventors. So please join us for the Hustle and Grow Show, powered by the Center for Teaching Entrepreneurship, Saturday, April 27th at 8 a.m. And don't forget to check out our website at www.ctemke.org.
Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Voice. And we're joined in the studio by some good folks from Milwaukee Area Technical College, Ms. Nandi Mallet and Mr. Junior Vu. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you do there at MATC.
Sure. So my name is Nandi. I am a student recruiter at MATC, specifically for community and adult learners. So I help those who are looking to come back to school, looking at post-secondary options, and I help them with that process of applying and seeing what programs they may be interested in. I do work with some high schools in the district too. So that's a little bit about what I do at MATC.
All right, and my name is Junior. I recruit with students for MATC as well. Most of my schools are on the south side of Milwaukee area, but I do also work with some on the north side and a few community organizations as well.
So when people when they think of MATC, we think a lot of things. Yeah. The cosmetology school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very popular right now.
Yeah, the culinary school. Interesting. Back in the day when they still did this, we got our wedding cake from MATC.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the bakers began to complain because MATC basically did it at cost. And if anybody's ever gotten a wedding cake, you know that they charge you. Now people say, how do you figure out how big the cake is? That you figure it out based on the number of people, and they charge you per slice. That wasn't the case at MATC. An incredible cake. Wow. So we know those programs. We also hear about different programs when it comes to the trades.
Yeah, so we offer over 180 different programs that's broken down into, associate degrees. So the 2-year traditional degrees, the technical diplomas, and the certificate tracks, which are tied to a lot of our scholarship options. So we do have a lot of students who are looking to change careers, or the traditional high school student who is getting, going right out of high school, or so we offer a lot, and we do have open house coming up this week on Thursday. So it's a really great opportunity for students and even perspectives to come out and check us out on campus.
Do you still have the relationship with some of the historical Black colleges in terms of people kind of finishing getting their associate's degree and then transferring to HBCUs?
I'm not really sure if that's something that's concrete, but I know that's something that's been mentioned on campus, but I'm not sure as far as like the specifics of when that's going to be rolled out, but we do have a lot of transfer opportunities for out-of-state schools as well as our in-state schools for sure. We have over 40 different partners that we work with as far as those transfer options.
I can speak on that a little bit because I know Will with the Men of Color office.
Yes.
Last year, I believe they went on some they went on some like trips together to go check out different HBCUs around the country, and they took some students there to look at transfer options once they graduated.
I think for some people it might be a great opportunity to, as you're saying, you may or may not be really ready to go off to school, but you can hit and certainly do, because most schools require a core curriculum where you're doing the basics, math, science. If you're in a religious school, they might have some religious or philosophy kind of things that you have to take. So MATC will give you that, and then you can look at going beyond the 2-year degree.
Sure. Yep. So as far as the open house, we really want people to come out.
Tell us about the open house.
Yes.
Time, date, location.
Yes. So open house, MATC. We're right in the heart of downtown. It's going to be at our downtown campus. It's this Thursday, April 25th from 4 to 7. We're going to have a lot of all of our programs is district wide. So if you are interested in a lot of our programs, if you want to meet with faculty, the organizations that we have on campus, all of our recruiters, including Junior and myself, will be there to kind of help spread awareness and kind of, allow people to come on campus and check it out for themselves. So that includes tours and checking out the facilities and the classes. And just learning more about the programs. I feel like MATC is a hidden gem. A lot of people, we know about MATC, but they, may not know exactly what the scholarships we offer or a lot of the resources that we have to help, students who are coming to MATC as far as high school or just career changers in general.
Now, you're having it at the downtown campus.
Yes.
But you have multiple campuses.
We do.
So is this open house, would it be for the other locations also?
Yep. So it's district wide. So that's all of our campuses coming down to the downtown campus. The downtown is one of our largest because we offer the most programs down there. But it's district wide. So our Mequon campus, our Oak Creek, West Allis, even Walker Square, we all gather together.
Is West Allis still in the same building? Or did they move? They were on 70th, right? Are they still on 70th?
I know it's by the State Fair. I can't remember what street. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know they were doing redevelopment in that area. And I remember would that be Beecher? I don't know where that is, right before you get to Greenfield. I think that was the campus. I was just curious. So you have Mequon, Oak Creek, West Allis, downtown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I also kind of wanted to mention the scholarships too. So, Promise, our free tuition scholarship and our Chakota scholarship, which is our full ride. We really want to make sure people are aware of that too when they come to open house, because a lot of our programs are tied to free money. So if you're looking at the associate degree, which is the traditional 2-year, we do have a free tuition scholarship. So that's our, if you're looking to transfer out, if you're looking to do a welding program, that's usually tied to the free tuition. And then our Chakota, which is our full ride, covers a lot of those short-term programs. So it covers a lot, like tuition, books. We give out grocery cards to help students pay for their groceries. So it's a huge benefit. And we want to make sure that we tie that in too, because we offer a lot, especially with our programs and free money.
Junior?
Yeah, if you come through on this Thursday for our open house, we actually will be helping people apply to MATC. So we will be waiving the applications for you if you come through to apply. We'll also be helping you apply for these awesome scholarships. Again, that Chakota scholarship, that's like a game changer for a lot of people that I know that got that scholarship. It covers childcare. So if you have a kid or something like that, you can drop them off at our MATC campus. We have daycare centers there that covers housing. So you can live in our dorms for free. We have dorms now as an option. Not sure if a lot of people know about that.
Where are the dorms located?
It's where the old Journal Sentinel building used to be. So we took it over, renovated. It's really nice, right across the Riverwalk.
Okay.
So a really good location. So you could live there for free if you get that Chakota scholarship. Again, all you need is a 2.0 GPA if you're in high school right now, graduating as a senior. And then you just have to have financial need and then live or graduate from the Milwaukee area. So really, simple. The application literally takes like 5 minutes, and I can help you apply if you come through on this Thursday for open house.
Nani, you look like you wanted to say something.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with Junior.
No, you just yeah. It is. Now the dormitories, I did not realize that how long have they been in the dorms?
About like 2 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to interview the coach and some of the players from the national championship team.
Yes.
Nice.
And I think a couple of those guys weren't from Milwaukee. And I just always wondered, because people who used to go to JC's, they didn't have dorms. They would live in hotels, but the fact that there is a dormitory, that's
Yep, it's really student apartments. So it's their own unit. It's fully furnished.
How much time do you need? I'm just asking now, if I'm applying, I want housing. The earlier the better, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
So, and are you are a little bit different because most schools, their acceptance days are in February. MATC, it just kind of goes until actually the semester starts, right?
Yeah, we have rolling admissions, so we accept students like all throughout the year.
Right.
We also have late start classes too. So, most schools, they start in January, but we can start in March as well for some classes that are shorter.
And one of the interesting things about MATC prior to COVID, they were doing online courses, right? I mean, so it helped you a little bit in terms of when you got hit by that, students couldn't come on campus, but it had been part of how you all had did some of your instruction anyway, right?
Yep. So with that too, online classes, we do have hybrid. So even if you want to have a mix of online and in person, and then just online or in-person classes too. So we do offer the online programs that are strictly just virtual.
Do people need to pre-register for the open house, or do they just show up?
We really encourage everyone to pre-register. So if you go on our website, matc.edu/open house, you're able to register. But even if you want to come show up, that's great. But we just want everybody to just register too, if they can.
And if they just want general information on the school, where can they go?
They can go on our website, matc.edu, or they can come to open house and check us out and meet with us. You're able to apply on the spot. You're able to learn more about what we offer. There's going to be food and refreshments, live music. So it's a really big event that we have on campus. And we want everybody in the community to come out and check us out.
So where's it going to be? Is it going to be in the Student Union building? Is it going to be in?
So if you come to the downtown campus, it's going to be in our C building. It's going to be a little bit of our S building too. So it's a few different spots on campus that we'll be at.
Now, when you say CNS, that would be people who are very familiar with your campus.
Yes.
So where's the C building?
The C building is not too far from the 8th and State parking structure, and they have like the big C in front of like the building. So we'll have signage and everything for students and for the community to come out, so it won't be difficult to kind of navigate. But yeah, we'll be there and we'll have everything, the signage and all of that, to help you figure out where to go.
Junior, anything as we close?
Yeah, again, for those who will be joining us this Thursday, again, please park at 8th and State. That'd be really nice. We'll get you a parking voucher, so that's free. We'll have signs for you. If you're taking the bus or coming from another entrance, you can just come through the main building and go to the 2nd floor. Then you'll see all of us there. We have tables, we'll have food and everything like that. Music, instructors will be there. But for whatever reason, if you can't make it there on open house, we also have tours every day. You can just sign up, matc.edu/visit, and then you can come in and check us out that way, or you can come for the open house. Again, please RSVP. That way we will have enough like giveaways and things like that for you. Again, that's matc.edu/open house.
Ms. Nandi Mallett.
Yes.
And Mr. Junior Vu of MATC, again, talking about the open housing. I'm still stuck in my NAACP commercial interview. They're having an open house for interested prospective students. That will be on Thursday.
Yes. Yeah. Thursday night, 4 to 7.
4 to 7 at MATC downtown. Appreciate you all coming in. Nice meeting you.
Yeah. Nice meeting you too. Thanks for having us.
You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Wisconsin Home Energy Assistance Program end of the season is approaching. Don't miss out on benefits and help with your weed energy bill. Just go to keepwarmmke.org. It's made it easy for you to schedule an appointment. You may also call 414-270-4653. Don't delay. Call us today. Again, that's 414-270-4653. Or visit us online at keepwarmmke.org. This is administered by the State of Wisconsin Home Energy Plus Program.
Hey Milwaukee, my name is Martina and I'm with the Independent Living Supports Pilot Program team. We help adults 55 plus and those 18 plus living with disabilities, providing up to $7,200 for home services, medical equipment, home modifications, and more. There's less than 30 days left to sign up for this program. See if you qualify today. Call 414-289-6874. Again, that's 414-289-6874. This program is made possible by Milwaukee County and Wisconsin Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, I'm Vanessa, co-chair of the Juneteenth Vendors.
I am Frank, co-chair of the Juneteenth Volunteers.
Juneteenth is fastly approaching and space is always limited. So if you have an interest in being a vendor, you need to sign up today.
Juneteenth would not be successful unless we have volunteers. We need volunteers for a multitude of different areas. So companies, corporations, organizations, Divine Nine, even families, please sign up to be volunteers today.
So call Northcott Neighborhood House today at 414-372-3770.
Vendors and volunteers call today at 414-372-3770.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tamika Vukovic, co-executive director of Wisconsin Voices. Please join Wisconsin Voices every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We will be focusing on community partnerships, voter education, and long-term collective impact for all Wisconsinites.
WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee. Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice, and we still have a few moments left in the program. Man, boy, what do I have to talk about in the last 5 minutes? We got about 5 minutes or so. Let's see. If you haven't, let me do this. I went to see the movie Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great movie. It is a great movie.
So you've been taking advantage of your Milwaukee Film Festival.
Oh, that wasn't part of the film festival.
No. So have you gone to any of them?
Not yet. Where we still have a little time for.
Yeah, I think it's through the 25th.
Through the 25th.
Yeah.
Right? And Michelle and I are trying to figure out where we're going to go, so we can get kicked out.
You
the
going
theater.
with Michelle?
I know.
You may get kicked out before you get in the theater.
I know. We're gonna need some bail money. Anytime she and I go,
we keep a little slush fund around here for keeping Michelle.
Print up some T-shirts. We're gonna. But anytime we go someplace, we just don't know how to act.
Well, we're gonna advocate for you to get out. They could keep Michelle a little while longer.
She ain't gonna let me out before she get out. That ain't happening.
She'll try it.
But
what do you think? Since we're not monitoring it right now, but how do you think the trial is proceeding? It didn't that kick off this morning?
Yeah, I think opening statements were this morning for Donald Trump's hush money trial. I don't understand. And
what don't you understand?
I don't even understand how this dude is still running for president. I read something yesterday about his campaign, the presidential campaign fund. For every $4 they raise, $3 is going to his legal defense fund. So if you notice, he's not running ads where Biden is running ads.
But that's not right.
Oh yeah, it's legal. You can.
That doesn't. I mean, would I knowingly contribute and knowing that my money's not really going towards the election, it's going towards your legal fund? Would I knowingly do that?
People who support him feel like he's being unfairly prosecuted and persecuted. And the reason why they're prosecuting him is because he's running for president. Now, he's been able to use that to raise money. Yeah. And most of that money that he's raising, they had a fundraiser down in Florida. And it was something about he did the fundraiser, but the majority of the money did not go to the RNC. The majority of the money went to him.
Wow.
I guess there's people out there like being pimped.
I mean,
only thing I can figure.
As you always preface him or refer to him as the gift that just keeps on giving.
Yeah.
I've never seen the likes of this in my life. Even with the audio and the different things that he has said and it's documented, you still follow this guy, man. Wow. Stupid is as stupid does.
Right. And I think that, and I understand the passion, the emotions that we bring to politics, because we bring who we are to politics. Emotions can blind you.
Yeah.
And that ain't just with Donald Trump. Emotions can blind you where you're not going to look at, I would think would be a disqualifier for most people for the highest office in the land. Someone was pointing out that the founding fathers never anticipated that they would have a situation where there would be a former president being indicted for some of the actions that he took while he was still president.
Yeah.
I do know that there were people who wanted to try George Bush as a war criminal because of the invasion into Iraq. But this dude is on a totally different wavelength. That you've never seen anything like this,
No.
And And you see it. That's what's so crazy. You see it. It's not like he's hiding anything.
I
He's
think
doing
the
it in
biggest
plain
part
view.
that really throws me, Keith, is when you think back to when we thought, and I'm going to say we thought, that race relations were in a much better place. You get a character like this guy who comes out and just says whatever crosses his mind, and all of those hillbillies, as Winky would say, out the woods, just come out and condone this.
I wish it was just hillbillies. I wish it was the great unwashed. There's a significant middle class group of people who are very solid in their support of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has said to them, be fearful because the people who are coming in across the border are coming to take your jobs. No, they're not. No, they're not. But he's able to use
But we're
fear.
not just talking about people from coming across the border, immigrants,
right,
undocumented, whatever the politically correct verbiage is these days. I mean, there's an outright attack on African Americans who were born and raised here, have just as much at stake, if you will, blood, sweat, and tears, equity, what have you. So to me, it's a little more than just the undocumented.
It is, but you can use that. It is the other. And we should be conscious of that because we're the others, right? And I agree with you. So when people are kind of feeling better, one of the things you talked about, you used the term redneck. One of the things—
No, I didn't. I said hillbilly.
Hillbilly, I'm sorry. same difference. No, rednecks are different. Rednecks are farmers. Hillbillies are hill people. My father was a hillbilly.
Okay.
My father's from the hills of Kentucky, the mountains.
Okay.
So
what part of Kentucky?
Southeastern Kentucky, a town called Monticello.
No, because my folks are from Columbus and Clinton and Hickman and Fulton.
Where's that?
All in Kentucky.
I don't know, but what part of Kentucky?
Don't ask me. I just know it's
now Rhonda's
Paducah.
People. Oh, okay, so they're Western Kentucky.
Right. Paducah.
Rhonda is they're South Central Kentucky because she's from Hopkinsville. That's where her family's from in Kentucky. Yeah, but my dad was born in. Oh man, I had never seen poor white people. So I went to Monticello, Kentucky. I mean,
it's worse than poor black people.
Oh, no, that's real talk.
I know.
That's real talk.
They can't. They ready to go off themselves, man.
Oh, that is why. Oh,
stop it.
All right, let me.
Is it that bad?
That bad, man. Let me thank Miss Wanda Montgomery. Let me thank President Clarence Nicholas. Let me thank Nandi Mallet, and Junior Boo. Let me thank Debo Carby. Thank you. Michelle, thank you for the brief moment that you came in and harassed me. Appreciate you. Love you. Hey, the good Lord willing, creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.
Father,